Welcome to Soulfire Wisdom with Kate Olson. As an evolving spirit and change adventure navigator, it is Kate's mission to empower and guide you on your path and inspire your truest passions. She will encourage you to share your gifts, speak your truth, and ignite your inner wisdom and purpose. She hopes to do so with a little humor and grace and her own soulfire passion. Kate talks with amazing guests who have embraced the pursuit and are fanning the flames of their own passion, purpose, and soulfire wisdom. Now here's your host, Kate.
Good afternoon, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I hope you're getting ready to have a warm and thankful day with family or however you're celebrating. Well, this is Soulfire Wisdom, and it's also, as well as Thanksgiving, it's Thoughtful, Thankful Thursday. And so I have to tell you what I'm thankful for today. And on Thanksgiving, I am also always thankful for my wonderful family and getting to spend Thanksgiving with them. And I almost always spend Thanksgiving the same way. I spend it with my family at my sister's house. And my sister always insists on having the family over and cooking Thanksgiving dinner. And so I am so grateful to her for doing that every year and bringing us all together. So if this is your first time tuning in, I am the owner of two wellness-related businesses, Soulfire Wisdom Life Coaching and Embrace Change Hypnosis and NLP. And I'm a life coach, hypnotherapist, Reiki master, and NLP practitioner. And I have a great show planned for today. The name of our show is Creating Miracles, and my guest is Christine Schader, and we're going to talk to her about all about miracles, and somehow to me that relates to Thanksgiving, and we'll ask her how that relates to Thanksgiving in her mind. So before I introduce her, I connected with her on Facebook, and first I saw her art, and then I saw her writing. So she first contributed to my Creative Friends group, and then she contributed a blog to my guest blog on Soulfire Wisdom Life Coaching. And then I did a soul talk with her on my soul talks. And so now, of course, I have to have her on my radio show. And she says she's sometimes called Smiley. And I have no idea why that would be. She's a neuroscience nerd, a speaker, an author of The Happiness Connection, and a life, happiness, and money coach, holding some of the highest credentials in the financial industry and owning her own financial planning firm. She's passionate about sharing the science behind health, wealth, and happiness, and how to apply that science to achieve your goals, dreams, and desires while simultaneously tapping into joy, happiness, and bliss daily. She lives with purpose and passion and loves inspiring and empowering women to achieve the highest versions of themselves and teaching them not to be afraid to shine. She views herself as a lifelong student of God, love, and happiness. She has a beautiful retreat center on the lake in Sandpoint, Idaho, has been married for over 35 years, and has 2 amazing adult children. In her spare time, she enjoys hiking in the gorgeous Pacific Northwest, time with friends and family, and clicking away at the keyboard on her next book. So I'm going to introduce Christine and let her fill in any blanks before we get started with the questions. Hi, Christine.
Hello, Kate. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Yes. Are you planning a big Thanksgiving dinner with your family?
Well, I'm blessed this year. My girlfriend invited us over. And so my husband and I, my son, his girlfriend will all go to her house, which is great.
Great,
So
yes.
I'm really looking forward to it. Today, I'm incredibly thankful to you. I'm always in awe of the light and love that you spread throughout all your mediums. So thank you for having me today.
Well, thank you for being here. I'm glad we can talk about miracles on a day that I kind of feel is a little bit of a miracle.
Agreed.
So is there anything we should know about you before anything that we missed in the bio?
No, I think you covered it all. I view my sole purposes on this world to be of service and to add value, and I try to do that in any and every endeavor, business or personal. So that's just a little bit about me. You covered it.
Okay. So how would you define a miracle? What is a miracle? Some people think you have to, part the sea before it's really a miracle. What do you think?
I believe a miracle is any expression of love, any action of love, any expression of love. I believe in daily miracles, and I believe in big wow miracles. But the simplest definition of that is love for me.
Okay. So I know you teach a course on creating miracles. Can you give us a little overview on what that's about and what it includes?
Sure. I teach a 4-part series, and the first part on miracles is the making of a miracle. And in that class, we talk about ask, believe, and receive. And I break it down. So under the ask part of this miraculous formula that was given to us, of course, in the Bible forever ago, ask. The first thing I like to share with people is please remember that every thought you think and every word you speak is basically a direct prayer request to God, the universe, whatever you want to call that higher being. Therefore, you might want to have those thoughts and those words in alignment with things that you want in this world, not on what you don't want, right?
Yeah.
So the second part of that is you want to know what you want. Clarity is key. You having the clarity of what you want, and then you also want to know why you want that. The why is the passion behind that. We're all energetic beings. The why is the energy. It's the energy for the manifestation to happen. It's the energy for the prayer request to happen. So ask, believe, and receive. That was ask. Believe. I love this one because I find that people often put God in a box. And one of my favorite quotes is by Carl Sagan, who says, there are more stars in the universe than grains of sand on this planet. And that's actually been scientifically proven now. And what I love about that, think about that, all the grains of sand on every desert, every ocean floor, every beach, there are more stars in the universe than that. And our universe is constantly expanding. So why would we ever put God in a box and thus put ourselves in a box? You know, we're children of God, and therefore I don't even believe we were given the ability to have a dream that can't happen. Whether you want to call it a miracle, or you want to define it as manifestation, I don't believe we can have a dream that can't happen. I don't think we were even given that ability to dream without the ability to have it happen. And then, of course, receive. Now, here's the stumbling block I see a lot of people with receive. They, first of all, have to listen, be open to receiving, listen for the cues that are given to us, and then not be so wrapped up on receiving their way. Sometimes we get so convinced that the way we're going to make this happen is our way that we miss all the other opportunities. You know, I often refer to it, people are like, well, financial freedom. You know, I'd like to have financial freedom. I'd like to have more money flow into my world. And they're just convinced that a box or a suitcase of money is going to show up on their porch, right? When in fact, maybe they just got a great reach out from a friend on Facebook that said, hey, I'd like you to be part of this, or, oh, did you know about this? All these little subtle cues for the receiving. So you have to be open to receiving. I like to meditate to be open to receiving. I believe prayer is talking to God, but meditation is opening up to the answers. It's the listening part, right? So I believe wholeheartedly in meditation for many reasons. I think your brain needs it. You mentioned I'm a neuroscience nerd. I'll be getting into that in a moment. Your brain needs to have that pause. And so I totally believe in meditation. So ask, believe, and receive. That's the making of the miracle. The second class that I teach is The Greatest Miracle, and that's an Easter Sunday chat that I do about love and forgiveness.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to stop for just a second because I know that we're not going to get through all the questions if we keep going on this same trajectory. So being as we're only at the second one, I just want you to tell us what the titles of the 4 miracle classes are, and then we'll go on to the rest of the questions.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So the 4 classes that I teach in my miracle workshops are the making of the miracle, ask, believe, and receive, the greatest miracle, love and forgiveness, the biology of a miracle, that is the science behind and how we are biologically designed for miracles, and maintaining a miracle mindset even when things aren't going according to plan.
Okay, great. So now I'm going to ask you, what does neuroscience have to do with miracles?
So the biology of a miracle, this is one of my favorite classes. We are actually biologically designed for miracles. And what do I mean by that? I mean how our brain is designed. So first we have neuroscience, neuroplasticity in particular, which basically says that your brain is not set for life. Years ago, physicians used to think that at a certain age, your brain was set, but we've now discovered that your brain is plastic and can expand and change daily. So understanding that you are not set in any one pattern. Then, of course, epigenetics, which is one of my favorites. Epigenetics means that basically your environment, the thoughts that you think, the things that you do in your environment can change the way your DNA is expressed, right? Your cellular expression out in the world. And then, of course, my absolute favorite is the reticular activating system. It's a small little part of your brain. It's about the size of the tip of your pinky back here. And your reticular activating system does many things, but what I want to focus on today is the filter system. So it basically filters out. First, it wants to keep you alive, of course, but you take in millions of bits of information a second, and your conscious brain can't really process all that. So your reticular activating system filters out what to pay attention to. And outside of keeping yourself alive, you pretty much set the parameters of that reticular activating system, meaning you set the parameters of what you focus on. I'm sure you've experienced this if you've ever purchased a new car or a new car to you. All of a sudden you see that make and model everywhere. Well, that's because you told your brain, hey, this is kind of important to me. And they just, now you see them, you notice them. That's your reticular activating system in action. So how does that all come to be with miracles? Well, once you understand that you can set the focus of what you're paying attention to, it actually opens up opportunities for you. And it opens up the world for you to see and bring in those things that you want. And understanding that the thoughts that you think and the words that you speak can change your cellular expression means that you're no longer a slave to your DNA. And of course, neuroplasticity, once you just change a pattern and you repeat it and you repeat it, you form new neural pathways, all of which opens you up for miracles. So we were actually biologically designed for miracles. Miracle making. You're a miracle making machine.
Yes. Yes, that actually kind of says, well, the miracles are always there. You just have to be in the right mindset to see them.
Yes, I love it.
So in short, what areas of neuroscience do you feel like everyone should know, or what are the top 2 or 3 things that everyone should know to live a happy life?
Well, understanding the basics of neuroscience, and I really wish we taught this in schools. I do teach to middle schoolers and high schoolers how the brain works, how the repetitive actions form those neural pathways. I teach about neurotransmitters, teaching people how, basically your brain talks back and forth, right? And how we can enhance those well-being feelings in our body by understanding that we have a little bit of control over our neurotransmitters, and with the proper exercise and music and sunshine and all of these healthy natural ways that we can produce serotonin and dopamine and endorphins in our body, and of course hugging and whatnot for oxytocin. That is all really important. So just having a basic understanding of your brain, how your body functions, and unfortunately we just don't teach that. I think if people understood those basic concepts, they would realize how much control they have over their lives and their reality.
True. So I know that the thoughts we think, the words we say, the things we do, they all impact our lives and the miracles that we create. But when life throws you a curveball, which we know it does tend to do from time to time, and things get kind of tough, how do you maintain that miracle mindset when that happens?
Oh, I love that question. So one of the greatest quotes I've ever read is by Viktor Frankl. And Viktor Frankl was a Holocaust survivor of not 1, not 2, but 3 Holocaust camps. And he's also the father of a branch of psychology. And he writes, between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and our freedom. And I'd like to add that in that space lies your happiness. So I believe maintaining a miracle mindset has everything to do with that space. So between something happening to you and how you respond to that, there is the space. And I believe the key to success and happiness lies in elongating that space and creating a pause. So I like to teach people how to create what I call mind freak out interrupters. When your mind goes in that loop and you're just looping in that worry, and that's what you're focusing on, remember, back to what we first said, ask, remember every thought you think and word you speak, is a direct prayer request. So let's not have that on stuff we don't want, right? So how do we pause our brain? So I love teaching mind freak out interrupters, and they're individual. you can, I say, plot twist often. If something's not quite going the way I want it to, my husband's not a fan of that one, by the way. I often say that when the discussion we're having is not going the way I want. I'm like, plot twist. And he's like, oh, here we go again. Nope. And I take a little bit of a break, right? Sometimes I'll go out for a walk. Sometimes I'll just distract myself with a movie or a book or something like that. Anything to interrupt the brain. So becoming a master of that pause is critical. And that is where you maintain the miracle mindset. So it's all in the pause.
Yes. That's a good one.
Yep. The power of the pause.
So I know that creating happiness and miracles are not the only gigs that you do. You also do workshops for community outreach and other things. So tell us a little bit about your other endeavors.
Sure. Well, my favorite thing is, and all of my workshops are open to the public and free of charge. And I do teach a happiness boot camp. I teach the 4-part miracle series. I teach financial wellness programs for corporations and schools that invite me in. And I also do a children's bereavement program where I go in and I teach the staff at the schools the resources available for children who are going through bereavement. And through that program, I'm able to give a nice scholarship, a grant to the school. So that's one of my favorite things to do. So a nice, well-rounded plate, happiness, money. So it's all connected.
Yes, I love that. So we're almost out of time. The one thing about a half-an-hour show is you seldom have enough time to really thoroughly discuss almost anything, but it also always gives you the option to come back or get in contact for more information. So before we get to that, how to find more information, if you could leave the listeners with one thought from today's show, what would you want that to be?
Oh, that you are a miracle-making machine and that you absolutely have the ability to control your reality and those miracles that present in your life.
Great, I love that. So can you tell the listeners how they could get in touch with you or get more information on all of those things that you mentioned?
Sure. My website is soultuned, SOULTUNED.com, and all my contact information's on there, so they can just reach out there.
Okay. And if you don't remember that, you can go to the radio website, which is soulfireradio.com. Click on guests and then scroll down to Christine's photo, and underneath her photo, her contact information is listed. So you don't have to remember all of that. So I'm really glad. Thank you so much for being here today and discussing miracles. I hope that the audience got a lot out of it and that, they'll be creating lots of miracles in their own lives. So I'd like to go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's so my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Great, and have a very nice Thanksgiving with your family.
You too, Kate. You too. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for listening today, and I hope everyone out there is celebrating a warm and grateful Thanksgiving, however you are celebrating it or wherever you are. We have another great show planned for next Thursday, so be sure to tune in at 1 p.m. Thursday, December 5th. And I'd like to leave you with a couple of thoughts. A grateful heart is a magnet for miracles, and that's from the law of attraction. And among the things you can give away and still keep are your word, a smile, and a grateful heart. And that was said by Zig Ziglar. So I'm just going to say goodbye now and let you get back to celebrating Thanksgiving with your friends and family, or however you celebrate it, and have a wonderful week.
Thank you for listening to Soul Fire Wisdom with Kate Olson. We hope you enjoyed the show. If we made you laugh, brightened your day, or sparked a new thought, we have succeeded in our mission. Join us next time when we'll share more secrets and truths and all the magic of transformation that is the journey to Soul Fire Wisdom. Always remember, be fierce in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire.